Please rise, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance, and we'll start our meeting. Thank you. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen, brother.
There you go, Bob.
Good evening, everyone. This is the Union Township Board of Trustees regular meeting for October 22nd, 2020. Let the record show that all three trustees, myself, Mr. McGee, and Trustee Logue, are all here tonight. Also, our fiscal officer, Mr. Ron Campbell. For those in the room, I guess there's a little bit of a malfunction with the air. We're trying to get that going, so we'll keep working on that as we go along. So we appreciate your patience. We'll keep it moving. Gentlemen, the first item on our agenda tonight is approval of minutes. You've had a chance to look these over. If there's no objections or changes, I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes from the September 10th, 2020 regular meeting.
So moved.
Second. Roll call, Mr. McGee,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Logue,
Yes, sir.
Mr. McGraw.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. The next item is correspondence. Mr. Campbell, did you have anything to report tonight?
No, sir, I have none. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Tonight, we do have a special presentation. This is from the Clermont Mental Health and Recovery. There's some information about the levy. And we have Karen Shera and is Leanne Watson here also? Okay. Please come up, and if you'd like to take a couple minutes and explain what's going on, we'd appreciate that.
Thank you for your time. I really appreciate that. So my name is Leanne Watson. I'm the Associate Director at the Clermont County Mental Health and Recovery Board. And again, thank you for your time. I just will spend a few brief minutes telling you a little bit about our levy and the importance of that. The most important thing to hear is that it's no new taxes. So it's the exact same taxes that we're paying now. It's $20.91 per 100,000. And I want to tell you what a bargain that is. But let me just take just a second to tell you a little bit about the Mental Health and Recovery Board. So we're a state-mandated agency. Every county in Ohio has a Mental Health and Recovery Board that is mandated to do several things. But the main ones is to assess the behavioral health needs of our county residents, to plan for services to address those behavioral health needs, fund those services. So we receive a little bit of funding from the state, but 50% of our budget is from our tax levy. So we assess, plan, fund, monitor, and evaluate the publicly funded mental health system in the county. So we don't provide services directly. We contract with agencies such as Greater Cincinnati Behavioral for adult mental health, Child Focus for children's mental health, and Clermont Recovery Center for substance use disorders. So that's us in a nutshell. Let me just tell you real quick the importance of the levy. So like I said, it's a renewal of a 0.75 mil. And what that does is provide support for people that do not have insurance to make sure that they can still get behavioral health services that they need. So when I say behavioral health, I mean mental health and substance use disorder treatment. So some of the services that we also fund are programs that you guys might be interested in hearing about is related to some partnerships we have with your first responders here in Union Township. So we have a quick response team that partners with your fire EMS department to do outreach with people that have survived an overdose to try to get them engaged in treatment. That has been very successful and has decreased the overdoses in our county. The next one is crisis intervention team training that the police particularly have participated in, and the chief has been involved in that with me since the beginning, so we appreciate that support. But those kind of programs, as well as our school-based mental health, which is in all schools in the county, would have to be cut because those are levy-funded programs. So it is very important that we do pass this levy, and particularly now with COVID and the increased anxiety and stress that we're seeing in people. It really is important that we have this safety net here and these services available when people need them. So I don't know if you have any questions for me?
And just a quick, well, it's not really a question, but a comment that you do have like crisis hotlines, like suicide prevention, because I know
Yes.
that's been a problem lately. Suicides have definitely been up, and
Yes, they have. Thank you for pointing that out. Yes, we have, which is completely levy funded. We have the Clermont County Crisis Hotline, as well as mobile crisis that will go out and assess the situation, most likely with police, assess the situation and determine the disposition. Does the person need to go to the hospital? Do they need to be connected to treatment? That kind of thing. So those services are all completely levy funded. And they're very vital, because like you said, suicides are up. We're starting to see overdoses going up as well, all related to COVID, I think. So,
I can honestly say, I'm sure these gentlemen agree, that we appreciate you working with our police, especially in a crisis situation, to help them, de-escalate a bad situation. So we appreciate your help on that. And also our EMS, we don't want to keep going back to the same overdose person over and over and over. So
Right.
if you can get them on a better path,
right.
that would definitely helps.
Well, we appreciate the partnership, and, it keeps our citizens healthy and, trying to get them back to being productive citizens. So, thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you, Ms. Watson.
And that was, once again, for the Clermont County Mental Health and Recovery Board levy. So if you need more information, you should contact them, and they'd be glad to help out with any questions you might have. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, we'll move on to our department reports now. The first one will be from our Fire and Emergency Medical Service. We have Chief Stan Dialing tonight.
Thank you, Mr. McGraw. For the month of September, the department made 211 fire responses, 411 emergency medical responses, and of those, we made 325 transports to local hospitals. The department completed 1,258 hours of training, participated in 44 public education details, completed 47 life safety inspections, and made 6 inspections with the county building department. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. And just a real quick comment, or you can clarify this, but someone asked me, well, you hire EMS or firefighters that are already trained, because they have to be certified when you hire them. But as you point out on here, there's a lot of training hours that always continually go on and on and on. So your
Yeah,
department continually gets training, right?
Yeah, that's never ending through their career. State mandates certain levels of training for recertification, so you have to do certain hours and categories of continuing education to recertify as a firefighter, as a paramedic, as a fire investigator, as a fire safety inspector, as a car-seated technician. All those things that these people are cross-trained to do, they have to continue to do continuing ed to recertify, whether it's every 3 years, 4 years, or whatever that certification process. We obviously meet and exceed by far those minimum requirements to keep everybody certified at their current level of training and beyond their current level of training when they're actually hired in as a firefighter paramedic at Union Township.
All right, thank you. Thanks for clarifying that.
That's great.
All right, gentlemen, we'll move on to our police department now. We have Chief Scott Gaviglia reporting tonight.
Thank you, Mr. McGraw. For the month of September 2020, Communications Center handled approximately 3,500 calls for service for police, fire, and EMS. On the administrative side of things, received our CALIA, or our accreditation report back from when the assessors were here in August. Both the PD and communication reports are very positive and exceptionally complimentary of our operations and the whole township operation as a whole. Both reports indicate we should receive reaccreditation in November. Due to the COVID issues, there's no in-person conference in November, so we'll be doing a virtual conference, I think the week of the 7th, 8th, and 9th that weekend. And I'm expecting we'll be reaccredited then for both police and communications. On the patrol side, we took 305 incident reports, investigated 103 crashes, initiated 393 traffic stops with 128 citations and 260 warnings. We completed 543 field interrogation reports, made 121 criminal arrests, 91 traffic arrests, and we served 141 warrants. To date, the investigation sections closed 224 cases, and fuel costs for the month was approximately $6,600. That concludes my report, sir.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, any questions or comments?
No, sir. Thank you very much, Chief.
Thank you very much, Chief.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, our next report tonight, this is from our Service Department. We have Mr. Matthew Taylor, he's the director.
Thank you, Mr. McGraw. In the Cemetery Division, from October 1st through the 14th, 21 burials were performed, generating $11,600. 13 resident graves were purchased, generating $7,150. One columbarium niche was purchased, generating $1,750. One cremation scattering garden was purchased, generating $500. The total amount generated for the period was $26,998.60. In the Roads Division, a total of 33 work orders were completed on 31 township roads, and staff installed one catch basin, 150 feet of pipe, and ditched 1,128 feet of road frontage on a total of 7 streets. And in the Parks Division, staff cut and cleaned the brush along the walking trails at Clermont Park. And just as a, I guess as a reminder, the junk collection is going on this week. So it's obviously tomorrow, 7 to 5, and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. So, and it's been very busy so far this week. So, and that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. You generally had pretty good weather for it, so.
Yeah, it rained a little bit on Monday and Tuesday. Today was probably the best weather so
Yeah,
far.
it'd be a little cool on Saturday, but.
Yes.
People being home more, now they're finding more junk to get rid of.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew.
Plus, we missed it in the springtime, so we have some
Yeah.
pent up garbage. So. All right, thank you. We'll move on to our Planning and Zoning Department now. Mr. Corey Wright, Director.
Thank you, Mr. McGraw. For the month of September, we fielded 36 inspections, handled 12 citizen complaints. We issued 4 warning citations, 8 15-day noncompliance letters, and 1 30-day violation letter. We also processed and filed 7 nuisance actions with the Board of Trustees and resolved 10 violations administratively. Regarding permit activity, for the month of September, 65 permits in total. Monthly revenue was $6,160, 2 new commercial permits, 7 commercial occupancy changes, and 10 single-family permits. Really were the bulk of the permit activities outside of pools and fences. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much.
Very good. Very
Gentlemen, any questions, comments?
good to see this single family moving up.
Thank you, Mr. Wright.
And our next report tonight is from our Township Administration, Mr. Ken Geis, Township Administrator.
Thank you. As a follow-up to the last meeting, I did contact ODOT and talk to them about Crescent Drive and their permitting process. As we reported at the last meeting, they did actively permit that curb cut off Crescent Drive and they denied an access point off of State Route 125. I asked them about a possible variance to that. They said there is a process and a procedure for that, but talking to them, they said that it meets no warrants at all for that, and it would be highly unlikely that anyone would be successful in petitioning the to ODOT for that change. As far as our Ohio checkbook, we are current. Again, the fiscal office, they updated it right away. The state treasurer's office, they were a little bit slow in updating it for September, but in October, they completed that right away. So we're right on pace, and we got that complete right away. The CIC closed on the property on McMahon, so that now is not property of the Board of Trustees. However, we do own the bus parking area in the front. We also own the area for the service for the bus garage for West Clermont schools. You'll see on the agenda tonight that there is a PO for the McMahon spur on that. That was a bid project that we put out for additional parking for the employees for the West Clermont school bus system. In that, with the sale of that property, we had to abdicate some of the parking spots. So we acquired a lot on McMahon Spur, and we are going to, at first, put really a gravel base surface in there, and probably next year, when the plants open up again, we'll come back with maybe some hard surface on that. I think with this PO, we're also gonna do the lighting on that facility, so that will be complete. We're under contract for some engineering work down on Round Bottom Road, that project, and that's Hamilton Safe. That's a project that is going to bring 200 jobs to Union Township. Hamilton Safe currently has it, one location in Union Township, two outside of the township and outside of the county as well. They're gonna consolidate those and bring that to our community. It's a great project that we really, have been working on for quite some time. We've kind of reported it, not by name previous to this, but we've been working on that for probably about 6 months. That's a project that the Clermont County gave us the lead on that, and we were able to meet with the developer and with Hamilton Safe, and we closed that. As it relates to that project, we're working on an intergovernmental agreement with Clermont County, and Clermont County has agreed to fund the improvements that are necessary on Round Bottom Road. We're going to have to improve the sanitary for that extended sanitary line east on Round Bottom Road that will service not only this site, but an additional 30 acres that will be open for other industrial development. We're going to improve Round Bottom Road in front of that, and we're also going to extend the gas line to that, so it will make the entire area much more marketable and really safer on Round Bottom Road. It's in the Bark Salt Run area of that. So we've contracted with Jonathan Evans to do the engineering on that, and we were able to do that. We did, just a straight RFQ&P with him for all of the work on that, and that's ongoing right now. We're still working on the intergovernmental agreement with Clermont County as it relates to the funding. As the board recalls, we established a TIF on that, and almost 100% of the revenue from the TIF is going to be used for the improvements that are necessary to bring Hamilton Safe, as well as to develop that area for future development in that. At the next meeting, we will bring forward a JED proposal for that. We're again proposing that the city of Milford partner with us on that. And the reason for the JED on this project is that since 100% or nearly 100% of the revenue that we're going to receive for this project is going to go for infrastructure on that, Union Township would be forced to service that area without any revenue at all. So they've agreed that for our participation in that and the county's participation in that, that they would agree to the JED. And that was, a mutual agreement with Hamilton Safe and the property owner. So we will have a short presentation at the November meeting for that. And then the last thing I wanted to report is that you'll see that there's a resolution on the agenda that's a little unique. And that is requesting the authority to use the Warren County Port Authority. And the reason to use the Warren County Port Authority for the Redwood project, and that's the finalization of the Redwood homes off of Buxton Road and Flick Road, the new project on Flick Road, is that Clermont County Port Authority declined to work with them on the sales tax abatement for that. That was a philosophical decision on their part. But Redwood Homes would like to pursue that and continue on with that. And so the Warren County Port Authority has agreed to assist them in that project. And again, that's all part of the project deal in going forward, that they receive the abatement of the sales tax for that project to affect that in going forward. So there's a resolution that I'd like the board to favorably consider tonight. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments, Mr. Geis?
I have no questions right now, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Geis.
Mr. Geis, I'm sure that agreement with the county will be forthcoming, but I've heard some very positive feedback. I'm understanding the engineer's on board with looking at the road changes, and that'll be really a key item and keep it safe down there. So I think everything's like full steam ahead, so
Right.
good work on that. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, gentlemen, we'll move on tonight. We do have a public hearing. This is for Union Township Overlay Case 3-20-0. This is regarding 735 State Route 125. It's a beer cave addition for a speedway station. And Mr. Wright, would you like to make some opening comments to let us know about this case?
Yes, Mr. McGraw, thank you. This is an overlay request seeking modification to a non-conforming use or structure in combination, and also seeking some relief from the setback provisions from Article 6 for a B1 district property. This is a beer cave addition, 211 square foot addition to this existing speedway. You can see here the lot. Let me go back here. Basically, it's on the front side of the structure and will encroach into the setback. That has been further reduced from previous instances due to repeated widening of Ohio Pike. The relief sought here would reduce the setback to 13.2 feet. Review of this, pretty basic. The addition really doesn't have any aesthetic quality to it. It's a steel box, metal siding. It does conflict with the existing brick facade, and the roof line is variable from the remaining building. There's some other issues on the site that we think we should take the opportunity to address with this regarding outdoor sales located very close to 125. The addition will encroach further into the setback. We should limit these outdoor sales to ensure more visibility along the corridor, and then also just overall conditions of the site. The site's kind of tired. It needs some reinvestment. Curbs need to be demarcated. Improvements and repairs would further enhance the site, and some pavement improvements would go a long way, as well as additional landscaping included on the site as part of an overall investment strategy. There are some conditions here for the board to review if you choose to grant favorable consideration, specifically regarding matching the exterior of the beer cave to the building to promote a more cohesive design element, limit outdoor sales, site improvements to the site to repair and basically bring the site back to, functional condition and not a state of disrepair, additional landscaping to be approved at administrative level, and the dumpster location should be revised to fit within a three-sided enclosure composed of masonry and include a screened gate, concrete pad, and approach. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, any questions for Mr. Wright regarding that?
Thank you, Mr. Wright.
This is a public hearing, so we'll is there anybody here tonight who would like to speak on behalf of this case? Please come forward. If you don't mind, I will first ask you to state your name and address for the record, and then we'll swear you in for your comments.
My name is Paul Daniels. I work for Smith Construction Group, and I'm here on behalf of Speedway LLC.
Okay, can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear the information you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
So, my God.
Okay.
I had the opportunity to read the report, and everything you said there is true for the development of the store needs to be repaired. So what I could do is go back to Speedway, because I'm representing them. I'm a contractor. I build Speedway new ones, basically. So, but I can go back and we can resubmit another plan with landscaping, brick facade. The roof for the beer cave will have to remain the same because you can't extend the roof over top of the beer cave. It is a flat roof with Duralast membrane with gutters on it. I've done probably 20 of these in different states also. So.
Okay.
But that's about all I have. I can go back to them and get some new plans and resubmit.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's a very busy location, and it's in a great spot.
Yeah,
But it's also a very visible spot. A lot of cars, as you've been to the site, so you know that it's a great spot. And so I think just it would benefit the Speedway also to make a few improvements. And
yeah, they're remodeling the inside of the store, but they didn't put anything on the outside, so. We can go back and ask them, because I know the budget right now is around 330,000 for what they want to do, so they'll have to up that budget.
Okay.
Then we'll resubmit.
All right.
Are they aware right now of the recommended modifications?
No,
No, okay,
no. I just got this last Friday,
okay.
Okay,
so, and with the COVID and everything, they're working half and half,
sure.
so.
Well, if you could, report back to them and then get back with Mr. Wright, so we can,
Will I have to pay another fee for the hearing again, or?
Mr. Wright, I have a question for you on that. So he's gotta take back to get authority basically from Speedway to be able to agree with the modifications, resubmit. Are we able to make a motion, be able to move forward with the recommended modifications now, and that they can either choose to resubmit or come forward to help move along the process? Because if Speedway does say that they agree to these recommendations, I mean, this is basically our ruling here, so if you could share a few words on what we could do here.
So typically in these cases, what we have done is if the board chooses to grant favorable action and adopts the conditions, those conditions would be established. It's really upon the applicant then to make the decision whether they would want to do that, or, and then you can proceed and say, yes, you can do that, and then proceed to permitting. And literally all we're doing during the permitting process is just doing a checklist review of those conditions on top of our standard development conditions.
Okay.
If you choose not to, the approval stands, and then you would have to resubmit.
Okay.
So,
So we actually could get the drawings redone with all the implications on here and submit for permits then,
okay.
if the Speedway chooses to.
But if this is approved tonight, they don't have to go through this process again, correct?
Yeah, I think that's a clarification,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, if this is, if
Yeah.
this is approved with conditions tonight, if they address the conditions, they can proceed to permitting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
And he won't receive any extra fees or charges.
And if they wanna have a change from what's approved tonight, then they can come back through with those changes to amend the plan.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
So we can keep the progress moving forward as
Okay.
far as being able to approve with the recommended modifications or any additional recommended modifications to add tonight. I think that's, a smart way to approach this. And I understand that you're not in the position to, carry the authority for Speedway LLC as you
No.
represent them as a contractor, so.
Correct.
It's a safe spot all the way around, so you're not committing them to something either.
Exactly.
So, okay. I think that's fair.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Daniels.
Is there anyone else who'd like to speak on behalf of this case? Okay. Seeing there's no one at this time, we'll close the public hearing, and I'll open the floor now for the Board of Trustees. Gentlemen, any further comments about this case?
No, my comment, I'm gonna make things just was made, about the recommended modifications, and I think that's been clarified here this evening.
Mr. Logue, anything additional?
No, I mean, I think, Mr. Wright described that the site's a little tired, needs more investment, matching, brick facade. The recommended modifications is already incorporated here. I think it's all, I think, very well called for. I think it'd be great to get a matching roof line of some sort, but from what he's describing, what they're capable of doing or not capable of doing, but it's really on the applicant to deliver to what's been approved, so.
Absolutely.
Or come back with an amended plan, so.
And you can see from the picture there, the trash receptacles do need a better system there.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely does. It's terrible.
Okay, gentlemen, then, we're being asked to approve, modify, or deny this request. This is for Union Township Overlay Case 3-20-0 for Speedway LLC. It's at 735 State Route 125. Do I have a motion to that effect?
I'd like to make a motion to, according to section 1310 of the zoning resolution, to approve the motion before the board this evening, or the motion I'm making, along with the recommended modifications in case number 3-20-0. And Mr. Daniels was quite forward in explaining his situation. Mr. Wright has explained it, and the motion goes accordingly.
So all the
All the
recommended,
recommended modifications, 5 modifications, yes.
okay.
Yeah, I'll second those, going through there, it's, even the additional landscaping is, subject to administrative review and approval prior to final development plan approval, so everything looks great there, so I'd second the motion.
Roll call. Mr. McGee,
Yes.
Mr. Logue,
Yes.
Mr. McGraw.
Yes,
Motion carries.
all right. So hopefully, they can proceed and,
Get it taken care of.
get all that taken care of. It'll be nice. All right, we'll move on to old business. Gentlemen, was there any old business that we needed to tend to?
I have none, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. We'll move on to new business then. The first item is approval of payments. These are prepared by Mr. Ron Campbell, our fiscal officer. Basically, it's our opportunity to pay our bills. Gentlemen, if there's no questions, I'll ask for a motion to approve the bills.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call. Mr. McGee,
Yes.
Mr. Logue,
Yes, sir.
Mr. McGraw.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. The next item is approval of our monthly financial report. The monthly financial report is also prepared by Mr. Ron Campbell, our fiscal officer. Gentlemen, if you have no concerns or questions, I'll ask for a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call. Mr. Logue,
Yes, sir.
Mr. McGee,
Yes.
Mr. McGraw.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. The next item is purchase orders approval. We're being asked to approve the purchase orders that exceed $10,000. These are recommended by Mr. Ken Geis, our township administrator. Mr. Geis, could you please read through these first?
The first is to Duke Energy. It's for the Civic Center gas and electric for 3 months at $36,000. The next is to the United States Postal Service for retail stamps for the postal unit at $50,000. The third is to Evans Engineering and Design LLC. That's for the Round Bottom roadway and sanitary engineering at $49,500. The fourth is to the United States Postal Service retail stamps at $50,000 as well. The next is to J.K. Muir Corporation. It's for the McMahon Spur parking lot improvements that I talked about at $295,000. And the last is for the fire department, True Craft Roofing for the Station 49 roof at $45,000.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, do you have any questions about the purchase orders?
I have none, sir.
No, sir.
All right. I'll ask for a motion then to approve the purchase orders as presented by Mr. Ken Geis, our administrator.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call. Mr. McGee,
Yes.
Mr. Logue,
Yes.
Mr. McGraw.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, with that, we are being asked to consider the Union Township McMahon Spur Parking Lot Improvement Project Bid Award. We're being asked to award the Union Township McMahon Spur Parking Lot Improvement Project to J.K. Muir Corporation in the amount of $256,218.55, includes the base bid amount of $230,918.55, and also includes the alternate number 2 bid, lighting, an amount of $25,300. And they were the lowest, most responsive, and most responsible bidder. And this would further authorize our township administrator to execute any and all relevant contractual documents thereto in furtherance of the same. Gentlemen, do you have any further questions or comments regarding this?
I have none, sir.
No, sir.
All right, then I'll ask for a motion to award the McMahon Spur Parking Lot Improvement Project to J.K. Muir.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, Mr. McGee,
Yes.
Mr. Logue,
Yes.
Mr. McGraw.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. All right, we have a few resolutions tonight to look at adopting. The first one is Resolution 2020-30. It's the amended 2020 Permanent Appropriations Resolution. We're being asked to adopt this resolution approving the amended 2020 Permanent Appropriations Resolution. Gentlemen, did you have any questions or comments?
No, I know that Mr. Campbell and his staff have put in a lot of work on this appropriations resolution this evening and before us. Thank you very much, Mr. Campbell. Fine job as well. Always.
Thank you. Thank you, Trustee McGee.
No questions.
All right. I'll ask for a motion then to adopt Resolution 2020-30.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, Mr. McGee,
Yes.
Mr. Logue,
Yes.
Mr. McGraw.
Yes.
Motion carries.
The next resolution is 2020-31. This is a nuisance abatement resolution. We're being asked to adopt this resolution for the abatement and removal of vegetation, noxious weeds, garbage, trash, and debris pursuant to Section 505.87 of the Ohio Revised Code at the following properties: 460 Old State Route 74, 696 McCormick Trail, and 1186 Muirwood Lane in Batavia. Gentlemen, you had a chance to read the report from our inspection staff and see the situations at these different properties. If there's no questions or comments, we'll ask for a motion to adopt Resolution 2020-31.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, Mr. Logue,
Yes.
Mr. McGee,
Yes.
Mr. McGraw.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you again, Mr. Wright, to you and your staff for putting this together and helping clean up these properties. Thank you.
What a shame.
Sure the neighbors will be happy.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. They have to be after that, and that's cleaned up.
Now we have Resolution 2020-32. It's a resolution inviting the Port Authority participation. We're being asked to adopt this resolution authorizing and requesting the Warren County Port Authority to provide bond fund services for a capital lease revenue bonds in support of a Redwood Apartments, Teal Town, and Savannah Ridge projects located within Union Township, Clermont County, Ohio. This is what Mr. Geis was talking about before.
Yes.
Really, the Port Authority of Warren County is just asking for our okay. It really doesn't involve the township as far as what's going on financially with them, but it does, they do want our blessing on it, basically. So, is there any questions or comments about this?
No, I have none. I think Mr. Geis was very specific about it, and I think it needs to be taken care of. We can proceed.
Anything further? Okay. I'll ask for a motion then to adopt Resolution 2020-32.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, Mr. McGee,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Logue,
Yes.
Mr. McGraw.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. Thank you. That concludes our regular business for tonight, but I will take this moment to open the floor for comments from our board members. Gentlemen, anything you needed to bring up or discuss?
I have one thing. That time of the year, shall I say, that within a few days, 12 days now, we have the election coming up. If you are registered to vote, go out and vote. That's your sacred duty, I think, as an American citizen. I think you've been given a right and/or a privilege to go vote for whoever may control your city, county, state, or federal governments. Please take that responsibility serious, go vote. And that's all I have to say. Just go vote.
Well, just in addition to that, I just want to mention that Mr. McGee makes a good point. The early voting is going on right now.
Yeah.
So if you go to the Board of Elections in Batavia, you can vote, I think they're open until 6 PM on the weeknights. And starting this weekend, they'll be open on certain hours on Saturday and Sunday where you can go vote in person. You can still request an absentee ballot, although you're running out of time on that. I would highly suggest if you do that to fill it out and then drop it off yourself to their drop box. They have a secure drop box down at the Board of Elections if you go that route. Or if you've already received your ballot and haven't filled it out yet, please do, and just follow all the directions on it. There's specific directions you have to follow, but it's a great time. A family member of mine voted today. It took about an hour to wait in line and go through the whole process, but well worth it for the reasons you mentioned.
That's right.
So hope everybody gets out and votes.
Please, please.
Oh, absolutely. It's not something to take for granted, like you say, and kind of think of it as, if you had $1 million lottery ticket, what would you do? Would you mail it in, or would you take it straight to the, the point of purchase and turn it in that way? And, it's just, if you know anyone that is registered that's not voting, encourage them to get out and vote. I mean, that is just something that is just so critical to our country and our nation, so.
Amen.
Just double down on everything Trustee McGee says there and Trustee McGraw, so.
And check your polling place. I know some polling places have been consolidated. Generally, there are a lot of these familiar places, but Mr. Geis, you can answer this.
Here.
In fact, we have more here at the Civic Center. You're going to use a different area to spread it out a little bit more. Is that correct?
Correct. We have, there's 7 precincts that are going to vote at the Civic Center, and they'll be distributed. Part of them will be on this side of the building, and part of them will be on the senior services side.
Okay, great.
There'll be signage for all of the precincts outside to let people know.
And that really came up from Crossroads being closed, correct? So,
Yes.
within response to COVID, so something that the township was able to really step up and be able to help the Clermont County Board of Elections with being able to offer a facility and be able to provide that service to the community and total for the county. So, really great thing that the township's able to do here and be able to utilize that space, so.
And Mr. McGee just gave me a list. Now, check your precinct because it could have been readjusted to a different place, but generally, it's some of the buildings you're already familiar with that had been voting places in the past. The All Saints Lutheran Church on Craig Road, Clough Pike Elementary on Clough Pike, First Baptist Church on Old State Route 74. There's a lot of precincts located there. Pattison Elementary, which is down in Milford, the newer school that's down in Milford. The Solid Rock Church on Hopper Hill. Summerside Elementary on Vermona. Summerside United Methodist, which is just around a corner from there. Union Township Civic Center, as we mentioned. Willowville, the Withamsville Church of Christ, which has been a familiar place, and also the Withamsville Tabasco Elementary. So it sounds like it's a lot of the same places, but the key one, the St. Veronica one, is no longer on here.
And
So if you voted at St.
Brantner,
Veronica, you're definitely going to a different place.
And Brantner too, Brantner's closed
And
down.
Brantner, yes. So please check, if you, especially if you live in those areas, check your voting location. You can do that on the Board of Elections website. It'll tell you where you're supposed to vote. I think you're supposed to mail out cards, although I haven't seen one.
I got mine 2 days ago, I think, 2 or 3 days ago.
And they changed yours to where?
I'm now voting here,
At the Civic Center.
Civic Center.
So, okay.
I
So
was at
you would have voted at Brantner in the past, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, so if you voted at any of those places, please check your voting location. Otherwise, you may find out that it's changed and you're not aware of it. So thank you for that list.
You're welcome, John.
Appreciate it. Anything else, Mr. Lowe?
No, sir, nothing.
Okay. With that, I'll open up the floor for public comments. Is there anybody here tonight who wanted to speak to the Board of Trustees?
I would.
Please come forward. Thank you for coming, and we ask that you please give your name and address for the record, please.
Is this working, and can I remove my mask?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
you.
My name is David Shea, and I live at 5067 Midfield Road in the Polofield subdivision.
Go ahead.
I'm here this evening as a 22-year resident of Union Township and Polo Fields. I'm here this evening on behalf and support of the fire levy. I've known Chief Mark Fife and his family for more than 10 years, and he is a man to be respected and admired. It's an honor for me this evening to be standing in front of you, trustees. I want to thank you for your support of the levy and for placing it on the ballot. It's my understanding that the fire department has been, using my words, a very good steward of our tax money. The last levy was 11 years ago, at which time the department promised that they would not ask for additional funds, nor would they seek a new levy for a period of 5 years. Well, not only have they kept that promise, but they've been most responsible in using tax funds, stretching those $2009 for more than 11 years. So the 2 mil levy for fire service and a companion or sister levy in the same amount for police services, in my view, is essential for the fire department to continue to provide the excellent services that they've been providing, to be able to maintain their outreach and community education, and permit them to cease the operating deficits they've been incurring and stop relying on other sources of income to operate. There's never a good time to be asking for money and raising taxes, and certainly this year may be the worst ever for doing that. But this fire levy, and the same can be said about the police levy, is critical despite that timing and the challenges of the pandemic and unemployment and all the difficulties that we've all faced. My wife and I are both retired, and our days of savings, accumulation, and wealth building, those are long over, and we're drawing down what we've saved. So this is an important issue for me, but I believe that it's important that we support it, that the citizens of our township support it. Despite our own financial situation, and perhaps the worst situation of others, we are in support of this levy. And I believe that a quality fire department operating on a fiscally sound basis is essential for our community. So this provides citizens and homeowners like us a measure of security. And I think it also helps to maintain home values and the quality of our neighborhoods and keep our families safe. We love living in this township and in the Polo Field subdivision, and we hope to spend the rest of our lives here. I thank you, gentlemen, for listening to me this evening. Appreciate this opportunity to address you. Thank you.
Amen, brother, thank you.
Thank you very much. Well
Thank you
said.
very much,
Thank you.
Mr. Shea.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak tonight? Please come up. If you would also provide your name and address for the record, we'd appreciate that.
My name is Tracy Moran, and I live at 461 Gablefield Court over in Brandon Moore. I'm a teacher, I'm a mom, and I am a taxpayer in Union Township. We chose 16 years ago to move here due to the proximity of family and also, to be honest, for the lower tax rate compared to some of the other areas around Cincinnati. We were young and safety wasn't as big of a concern for us at the time. I'm a mom of 3, and we now place a huge value on making sure that we live in a safe and secure neighborhood where we have the very best police officers and also firefighters protecting and serving my family. They're also extremely humble. We have 49 police officers making over 51,000 calls every single year. This is less people making more calls than comparable counties. We have 56 firefighters who, again, are making 8,000 calls or more every single year. Once again, less people making more calls than comparable counties. Not to mention the fact that these men and women are dedicated to stepping in and volunteering to make citizen connections and also a better place and community for us to live in. These highly trained workers have completed over 11,000 hours of professional development. Plus, we have the benefit of leaders making fiscally sound decisions. As was previously stated, the previous levy that was passed in 2009 was stretched for an additional 6 years. When was the last time you stretched your budget that amount of time? With the 4.2 million levy, These departments are asking for essential materials for our essential workers who are risking their lives and who are also deserve to have updated equipment and technology to save and protect ours. But I also have a personal connection to this. My 72-year-old mom and I are graduates from the Citizens Police Academy. And throughout our time studying of the curriculum, we were taught a lot of the ins and outs that happen with what our essential workers do. It was really an eye-opening experience to learn about the procedures and the risks that are taken for granted, like the investigation of increased drug trafficking due to our location on 275, 32, and 125. I truly wish it was a required course for each and every member of our community. A failed levy would mean that the police academy possibly could go under. And also, the women's self-defense class, which we plan on taking in the spring, would also not be available to our citizens, as well as neighborhood watch, security assessments, CPR training, and car seat inspection for children. The Morans are enthusiastically supporting this levy, and quite frankly, we would have paid double. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms.
God bless you.
Moran.
Thank you.
Well said, thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak tonight? Thank you very much. We appreciate the participation, and some people are will watch this on Facebook, or watching it on UTTV and other ways. So we appreciate people coming in person, and we especially appreciate people who will speak and let us know what's going on in the community. So thank you very, very much for that. All right, I got a few announcements to make. We'll go through these real quick. Just to mention, earlier we did a purchase order for postage, and it sounds like the post office has been very busy. That purchase gets reimbursed from the sales of the postage, so that's not something the township is spending money on. But the post office continues to be open for business during normal hours, especially with the holidays coming. It gets very busy, so please know this is a great place to drop off your packages to get shipped, also to get postage and get your mail out. And so if you've never been to the post office down there, just take a minute and stop by. It's really a nice facility, and they do a great job, so we appreciate what they do.
Right. Amen.
Our Civic Center offices are open to the public for zoning permits and general information. The parks are still open and being well used right now. Halloween trick-or-treat in Union Township was approved some time ago and will occur Saturday, October 31st from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. We ask everyone to please be safe, do what's best for your family, and once again, make sure you take care of your children on those nights.
Amen.
But I know a lot of positive feedback that I've gotten from the community, people who feel like their kids really need to get out.
Yep.
Fall junk days continue. It's, as Mr. Taylor mentioned before, so tomorrow you have an opportunity, and then Saturday. So please, if you got large items you need to get rid of, please stop by. They'll be glad to help you take care of it. It's a very smooth process. You pull in one side and pull out the other side. They'll direct you where to stop and they'll take the stuff off your hands. So if you got some stuff that's hard to get rid of, this is your big opportunity to get rid of it. Especially metal items. There's a lot of recycling that goes on.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So large appliances and things like that are eligible to drop. Please don't bring motor oil, batteries, and hazardous materials. Those are, and tires. I think those are covered. I probably didn't cover everything, but those are the major things. Don't bring. Okay. And we'll go on to Election Day. Mr. McGee was very thankful you brought that up. So that's on November 3rd, but you can start voting now in person. So I wouldn't wait till the last minute. If you got the time to go vote in person, go ahead and take care of it. But the regular election day is supposed to go on, but you never know. So please, if you got the opportunity to vote early, I would highly suggest it. Veterans Day is coming up, and thank goodness for all our veterans. Wednesday, November 11th, our offices will be closed, so God bless all our veterans. in between two right here, so thank you, gentlemen, for your service.
Thank you, sir.
Do appreciate that, and to all our veterans out there who have served our country, thank you very much. And also, here we go. McNicholas High School is hosting a Community Shred Day fundraiser event. This will be Saturday, November 7th, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the McNicholas High School parking lot. So a lot of people are always asking me, when can we shred things, especially legal documents and things you want to make sure that no one else gets a hold of. There's your opportunity. So shredding events are always very popular. So please help out McNicholas and also get rid of some items that you would like to keep secure. Gentlemen, is there anything else to add to that?
No, just thank you for coming out. I thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your busy schedules to be here this evening. Thank you. Thank you very much for your kind words. I appreciate that, Mr. Shea, Ms. Moran. Thank you.
And just a reminder, we only have one meeting in the month of November due to the Thanksgiving holiday coming up,
Right.
and the same with December due to the Christmas holidays. So it looks like our next meeting, if I'm correct, would be November 12th. Does that sound right?
Correct.
Okay. So we hope that you can attend or at least watch at your leisure. Like, it's great if you're on Facebook, you can watch it anytime. It's also on our website. You can bring up the meeting videos. And UTTV, if you're fortunate to have that, a cable service, you can watch it there. So lots of different ways to see our meetings and see what we're up to. And then you can contact the trustees if you have any questions. So we want to thank everyone for coming. Anything else?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just thank you, everyone, for coming out, and again, the kind words on police and fire, and, you know, what you, expectations you have for the community, and just everyone being here, making, you know, part of, Union Township, one of the greatest places in, greater Cincinnati and country to live. So thank you for
Amen.
coming out.
Yes.
I'll ask for a motion then to adjourn our meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call. Mr. McGee?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Logue?
Yes.
Mr. McGraw?
Yes.
We're adjourned at 7:57 PM. Thank you.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Yes, sir.